Hey, okay, I told you that I would come on and help you guys kind of do a live workshop of how to set up your seasonal meal plan for the fall or for any season. So I took some notes, I've got them right in front of me, and I am going to walk you through the step-by-step process to making your seasonal meal plan. Now, there is in the beginning of your seasonal meal planner example pages to help you out in that area. That fan is gonna bother me. Um, so make sure that you look at those example pages because it gives you the instructions right there. But this is going to be like a really deep dive look and kind of my recommendations and tips and tricks for what has worked for me over the years of meal planning on a seasonal recipe rotation. So if you are new to this, listen up. You can save this by clicking the three dots at the top of the video and saving this post for later if you need to come back for it to it. But yes, so I'm going to dive right in. First of all, I want to cover the why, because before we talk about the practical anything, I want you to really be resolved in why you are meal planning this way. A lot of you, maybe you heard about this meal planning system and were like, that's exactly what I've been needing and I just didn't know it. Or maybe you're just like, I'm at my wit's end, I'm going to try something new and we'll see if it works. So wherever you're at, I'm sure you could be anywhere in between those two things. I want to share the why seasonal meal planning. So number one, it cuts decision fatigue, which is a game changer, you guys. We make 35,000 decisions a day. It's crazy. So we want to cut out as many as we possibly can. This allows you to decide one time at the very beginning of the season what you're going to eat for the whole season, and then not have to really touch that in your brain for another 3 months. So this makes it so that you're meal planning 4 times a year instead of every single week reinventing the wheel. This is why I think master lists do not work. A lot of people will tell you, just create a master list of your favorites. And I know I've chatted with a lot of you gals about that, about how you've been using a master list, but you're just so bored, so sick of the same old thing. This is essentially a seasonal master list where you're not going to get bored because you're basing your meals off the seasonal produce. So every season you swap meals. You may choose to have some overlap, or you could do it totally different. And we'll talk about the specifics in a minute. But yeah, this alleviates boredom and gets you out of that food rut forever. And it also prevents you from having to reinvent the wheel every single week. So I'm super passionate about that, especially for moms. I feel like we cannot waste a single second on planning our meals. Like, that feels dumb to me. So let's do it this way. Okay, the second reason is it just saves money. I don't know if you've noticed this when you've been at the grocery store, but produce, when it's out of season, it's much more expensive. And the reason why is a lot of times they're being shipped in from other states and sometimes other countries. So that obviously costs more than getting it more locally to your area. So, you can utilize farmers markets and things like that, especially over the spring and summer. It's like the perfect time for farmers markets if you have that locally in your area. But just even at the grocery store, it's going to be a lot cheaper. Number 3 is that you can eat healthier. Obviously, if you're planning your meals this way, you're planning them around good quality vegetables. Like, really, that's what you're doing, is you're planning it around the produce that's in season. Whether that doesn't mean that you just eat vegetables. Obviously, we eat meat, it's okay if you eat meat, grains, whatever, to make your meals a whole, but you're basing them off of the produce in season. So that's great. You eat healthier. Also, produce that's in season is just more nutrient dense for you, so it's a lot better. Now let me break down what the seasons are, because there is some confusion, I think, sometimes, because seasons differ from what part of the country you're in. It also differs if you're not in the United States. So what I'm going to give you right now is just the way that I've broken down the seasons. It's a general range. I don't know if you've noticed this, but usually seasons, the first day of summer and the first day of fall are like at the very end of the month. We don't do it that way for the seasonal meal planner because it's just like that season is still happening even though the first official day hasn't started. Like, it still feels like fall in September even though it's not September 26th or whatever the day is. So that's why we've broken it down this way, and just to simplify the whole process for you. So in the United States, the seasons are spring, summer, fall, and winter, obviously, but spring is March through May, summer is June through August, fall is September through November, winter is December through February. So we are about to start the fall season. So if you order the fall and winter seasonal meal planner, you're going to want to get your recipe rotation all down pat. It's on this page. Let's see. Can you see this? Tried and true recipes for fall. That's the page that you're going to write your fall meal plan down on, and I'll walk you through that in a minute. But that's going to get you September, October, and November. So every season is 3 months long. Okay, so what is a seasonal meal plan? It's 16 to 20 dinner recipes that you know are tried and trues. They're favorites of your family, or they're things that you're going to compromise on, so that you can all have kind of a happy compromise for things to eat. So let's see, they're based on the produce currently in season. And this, like I said, it cuts down your meal planning to 4 times a year, which essentially means that on a weekly basis, you're really only spending, for me, it takes me 10 minutes, literally, to take my seasonal meal plan, plug it in based on our schedule for the week, plan breakfast and lunch and snacks in addition to those dinners, and write my meal prep list, write my grocery list. Like, all of that takes 10 minutes for me now, y'all. So this is a far cry from the 1 hour that I used to spend looking for recipes, and then like the hour it would take for me to decide, and then the hour it would take me to go to the grocery store. It was bad. I was in a bad place, hence why this was created. Yeah, you can expect to have between 10 to 15 minutes on a weekly basis if you really stick to the plan. Now, this is where women get tripped up, I think, is that you start trying to get creative, or you feel like, oh, we've had that before, and I don't want to do that again, or we don't feel like eating that. And what I would say to that is just stick to the plan, guys, because when you do, you're just as happy. Like I used to be in that rut where I would say like, oh, I don't think we're gonna feel like eating that this week, maybe we should find something new. And then 30 minutes later, I haven't found any new recipes that sound good on Pinterest, and I'm like, what an epic waste of time. So I don't want that for you guys. So my suggestion is just stick to the plan. Stick to your seasonal meal plan. That way it's streamlined. The whole process will be streamlined, and it'll take you such a short amount of time. You'll be thankful that you did. And like I said, it's going to cut that decision fatigue, which as a mom, we don't need any more decisions. No. Okay, so, and one more thing on this is that when you rotate 20 recipes, you should rotate through each recipe on your meal plan between 4 and 5 times. So you're getting a good variety. Like, you're still getting a great variety with these 20 meals without having to sacrifice, boredom or having to reinvent the wheel. Okay, good morning, Jen. Thank you for joining. Okay, so the how. So I want you to look at your seasonal produce list. It's in the back of your seasonal meal planner under the section called resources, and circle or highlight or star some of the ones that stand out to you, some of the produce items. If you're like, ooh, kohlrabi, I want to have that this season or whatever, or I usually don't eat broccoli. How can I incorporate that more? Like, take note of the things. That's kind of the fun part to me, is that instead of just eating the same vegetables all the time, I can kind of see like, oh, I didn't remember that was in season right now. Maybe I can look up some recipes that have that, because that'd be cool to incorporate that, like apricots. I wouldn't naturally think to put that in my, meals or whatever. But now that I know it's in season for the fall, I want to do that, if that makes sense. So look at your seasonal produce list in the back to help jog your ideas, get the juices flowing. You can also do a Pinterest search for, like, I just created mine. So I did a couple Pinterest searches for like fall paleo soups, or fall recipes with Brussels sprouts, things like that, if that makes sense. Just kind of like a Google search of the produce item, and then like what you're looking for. You want a soup, you want, whatever it is. Or you can look at cookbooks as well. I suggest keeping a seasonal Pinterest board in your Pinterest deal if you have Pinterest, or you could keep a recipe binder if you don't want to be digital. So those who like digital, keep seasonal boards on Pinterest. Like keep a fall board and put all your recipes on your fall meal plan in there. That way you know that's where you go for all your recipes. If you have some that are coming from multiple different places, you can print out those recipes and keep them in a binder. Maybe you're putting your seasonal meal planner in a binder and you have a section for the meal planner and a section for each season with recipes. That would be awesome because you would have it all in one place. So if you do that, let me know because I want to see that. But that's just another idea. Basically organize it some way so that you can know where these recipes are going to be. And I just want to highlight that on your Tried and True page, there's a place to write the recipes, but then there's also a place to write where it's located. So do that because I'm telling you, like that trips me up midweek when I'm like, but where's that recipe? You know, like what Pinterest board is it in, or is it in a cookbook? I don't remember. So make sure you write that down. Okay, some ideas though, because I know you guys are going to want ideas and I get asked this all the time. There are no ideas in the seasonal meal planner. However, every single season I create my own seasonal meal plan. Of course, for our family, we eat paleo pretty much. The kids and Jordan will eat like some gluten-free grains, things like that. But I write it up on my blog what my fall or whatever my seasonal meal plan is, and I share it with you. I do that every single season. If you want to go back and look at past years, go to my website, click archives at the top, and then seasonal meal plans. It'll be in the drop down, and you can go look at, you can even go look at my fall meal plan from last year and get some good ideas going for your fall meal plan that's going to start next week, right? I think end of next week is September, or is it the end of next week? I gotta look at my calendar. Anyway, so do that. And then I also curate my own Pinterest boards that are labeled spring, summer, fall, and winter recipes. And I put additional recipes in there that are not on my particular meal plan, but that I just think these are great. I know either I've had them before, made them before myself, or I just know from my experience that they're going to be tasty, they're going to be simple for you, and they're going to be healthy, and they're in line with the season. So tons of ideas there. You know, everything, like I said, is gluten-free, dairy-free. It's all very healthy stuff. And I try to make it simple because I honestly only want a couple steps. I don't want like these big outlandish meals. So you can trust this mama to give you some ideas. Okay, over the years though, these are three sources that I found spot on helpful. One would be Against All Grain. Love her recipes. I have recipes. These are who shows up on my meal plan every single season. So of course my own blog is is on there because I trust my own recipes and I created them, so I understand them. But also Against All Grain is pretty much always a winner. And The Defined Dish, that's another blog that I love. Really healthy, almost all Whole30 compliant, but normal ingredients that you can find at any grocery store. And gosh, her stuff is always good, always good. So those are some ideas to get you guys going. But if you have questions, please comment and leave them because I'll answer them at the end, or I'll come back and I'll answer your comment. If this is your first time creating your seasonal meal plan, I would allocate an hour to get it done. Thereabouts, just depending on how acquainted you are with what your family likes to eat. If you're really struggling with that, or if you need to have a family meeting to get everyone on the same page, you might allocate a little bit more time for that. But you know your own situation. It will go faster if you already know, what people like I said. So now where I'm at with this, I've been doing this for 3 years, I think. Now I can see a recipe and look at the ingredients list and just know we're going to like that or we're not going to like that. And I can also really easily pick out like, okay, I don't want to have flour, but I can sub that for arrowroot flour or whatever. Or I'm not going to do heavy cream, but I'll sub that for coconut milk or something. So I write those things in my blog post, which my fall meal plan for this year will be live on the blog on Monday morning. So I'll send a newsletter out about it. You'll get it in your inbox. And I would love it, and so appreciate it if you would share it with your friends, because this is a problem that so many women have, and I just want people to be equipped with making their fall not stressful when it comes to meals. So that would be awesome if you could do that. But that'll give you some ideas, and I'll also list out any subs that I'm making. Because sometimes I'll see a good recipe and it's not everything that I would eat, but I just leave some stuff out. Like if it's too spicy, I'm like, my kids aren't going to eat something spicy. So you get the idea. Okay, so you can do this many ways, but I suggest making a full list of 20 meals. Then if you don't like a few of them, like say 3 or 4 end up being duds, like that you haven't tried before and you're just trying it out, you're not in a bad place. Like you don't have to go back and add more, because 16 is pretty good. 20 is better in my opinion, because you have a little bit more variety and a little bit more like wiggle room for just in case you're like, that ended up not being like a super fave, so I don't want to make it that much. So let me know if that makes sense. But I would start with the full 20, and this is for y'all like who have never done this before. And then if you need to like cut out 3 or 4, you're not in a big pickle. Okay, realize, this is the last point, realize that the work you put in now is going to pay you back in dividends for the future. What I mean by this is that you create your fall meal plan now, and you can always come back to it. Next fall, you can come back to it and either copy what you've already done or just use it as a base and a springboard for the next one. I had to almost completely redo my fall meal plan because everything that I could eat last year, I cannot eat this year. So there was like probably about half my list that I had to nix and replace with something new because I just can't eat it anymore for health reasons. But I was so thankful to have had a Pinterest board already curated, a list on my blog already curated so that I could pull the meals that I could have. And that probably started me off with a good half of my meal plan for the fall. So you will be so grateful that you put the time in now. Do not, this is like my worst fear. I think about this every day and I pray about it and ask God to like remind all of y'all to print out your seasonal meal planners and to utilize them, because the last thing I want is for you to have spent your money on this, never print it out or never put it to use. That would be such a fail for everyone, right? So I don't want you to do that. Take it seriously, put in the work, do that 1 hour, or if you're really good at it, it might take you 30 minutes, to get your meal plan done. And then you will be set for 3 months. Like you will be so happy that you did it. I promise you. It's like anything that we do. It's like if I make my kids lunches before 10 minutes before they have to go to school, it's all good, right? But when I don't, then we're stressed. So I don't want y'all to be stressed. It feels needless. You have this tool in your hands, so use it. And if you're having trouble, please, I am always available to answer questions. Just email me. And I am happy to answer any questions that you have, if you're feeling stuck. And also, I don't know if I've mentioned this here or not, but I also offer mentor sessions, like 30-minute or an hour mentor sessions. If you're in a real bind and you're like, I just really need to talk this out one-on-one with you, like more than email, for your specific situation, we can totally schedule a coaching call. I'm happy to do that. Okay, my other suggestion is to have a few staples that kind of make their way onto your list every season. I have about 4 of these or so that I just kind of put on every seasonal rotation because they work. They work for any season. Examples would be a frittata. Obviously, you can swap it out with different kinds of meats. You could do sausage, or you could do bacon, or you could do totally vegetarian and just put the seasonal veggies in there. Y'all saw probably all summer what I was doing for my summer frittata with beef and this like creamy beef mixture with like leeks and stuff. And then, but for the fall, you can do sweet potatoes and or broccoli or whatever. So frittata plus a salad, really good meal. A whole roasted chicken and vegetables, that is always good. You could swap out for seasonal vegetables, or you could just do some staples of like carrots and potatoes and onions and garlic. But that's like a big stretch it meal where like you can have dinner tonight with that and then like lunch for 2 days with the shredded chicken that's left over. So I highly recommend roasting a whole chicken. Taco bowls is another idea. Breakfast for dinner, always a great staple. No shame putting that on your seasonal meal plan. And then when in doubt, protein and a veggie. Like, people ask me about sides and I'm like, it's roasted veggies. It's roasted seasonal veggies. So anyway, those are some ideas for kind of getting you started on your fall meal plan. Okay, if you like themes, like if you like to have like Meatless Monday or Taco Tuesday or Thai Wednesday or whatever, then you could choose 4 to 5 recipes in each of those themes. And then boom, you're done. I do this when it comes to hospitality and slow cooker meals. So I always want to make sure I have at least 3 or 4 hospitality meals. So when I say that, I mean, I know for sure it's a crowd pleaser. I know it's really easy for me to make. And I know that it's easy to double for a bigger crowd. So I make sure I always have 3 to 4 hospitality meals and 3 to 4 slow cooker meals, because typically 4, I like, 3 or 4. Because Sundays, it's like, well, it's our Sabbath. We want it to be Sabbath, and so I don't want to cook. I want to just throw all the ingredients on Saturday night into the crock pot and then just literally turn it on Sunday morning. But we also have church. We have home group. When we move, we're going to have church 2 times in one day in another state. So we need a slow cooker meal. My kid's going to come in. Okay, come here for a sec. Do you need to go potty? Okay, go, and I'll be out in a minute. So what was I saying? Oh, so we want slow cooker meals. Okay. So, and slow cooker meals are super hard for me to find. So I just make sure to there's my other one. Oh my gosh. Okay. I make sure to find them up front, obviously, just like everything else. It makes it so much easier. So, with that said, I mark mine. I'm going to show you. Hopefully you can see. Oops. Yeah. So you can see that I've written a little H and a little SC for slow cooker in different colors. That way it's super quick. My eye catches it, and I'm like, if people are coming over for dinner, I can just all go right there and look at the H's and say, just choose one, basically. And then plug those slow cooker ones into my Sunday night. So if you do themes, like, even better. If you took my meal planning course, then you know that that's like a foolproof blueprint for that. One more thing I'm going to say before I have to put these kids back in their beds is I like to also do a couple like options to rotate through for lunch. And so at the bottom of my page, I write lunch, and then for fall, I'm doing chicken Caesar salads, tuna salads, and taco bowls. And that just helps me when I'm doing my meal plan to know, like, I can rotate through those things and not get bored, but also have something available for us for lunch. And you can even do that with breakfast. You can really do a rotation for anything, but dinners are the main one, and I think that's where people get tripped up a lot. If you get tripped up with lunch, use one of the blank pages in the seasonal meal planner to create like a mini lunch rotation. I think that would be awesome. Okay, now I'm going to put these babies back in their beds. But thank you for joining me. If you pop on and you watch this after the fact, watch the replay, comment and let me know that you're here. Comment and let me know what stood out to you and what you're going to be utilizing next. And ask me any questions, and I'm happy. I will come back to answer your questions when I have a chance. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
I could be.
No.